In the late 1990s, NASA embarked on an experiment so dangerous that, to this day, no official records confirm its existence. It was meant to push the limits of human endurance, space physics, and technology, but something went terribly wrong. What happened aboard that classified mission remains buried under layers of secrecy, but whispers of the truth have leaked from former engineers and astronauts who were too haunted to stay silent. It all started with the Project Hades initiative, a top-secret program designed to test the effects of extreme gravitational shifts on the human body. The goal? To understand whether artificial gravity fields could be manipulated for deep space travel. If successful, it would have been the key to long-duration missions beyond our solar system. NASA scientists theorize that by creating and controlling artificial singularities, they could bend gravity itself, allowing spacecraft to move faster and reducing the long-term health risks of weightlessness. To conduct this experiment, NASA selected the shuttle Erebus, a heavily modified version of the Space Shuttle Discovery. Aboard were 4 elite astronauts, each with extensive experience in high-risk missions. Their mission was simple: enter low Earth orbit, deploy the classified gravity field generator, and observe the results. But from the very start, things did not go as planned. Upon activation, the device did something unexpected. Instead of generating a stable gravitational pull, it created a localized distortion, one that bent time and space within the shuttle itself. The effects were immediate and horrifying. One astronaut, Dr. Alan Reese, reported seeing multiple versions of himself in different positions at the same time, as if reality had fractured. Another, Commander Julia Beckett, screamed that she was experiencing memories of things that hadn't happened yet. The ship's AI malfunctioned, struggling to interpret time as linear. The astronauts' voices overlapped on the communication feed, as though they were speaking from different moments simultaneously. Ground control, monitoring from NASA headquarters, was thrown into chaos. The Erebus's signals became distorted, sometimes showing the crew still launching, sometimes showing empty cabins, and sometimes nothing at all. Then 48 minutes into the experiment, Erebus vanished. No explosion, no debris, just silence. NASA declared an engine failure and marked the crew as lost. Families were given carefully crafted cover stories, and all evidence of Project Hades was erased. But then, something happened that forced NASA to reconsider its official version of events. Exactly 2 years later, a weak distress signal was picked up, coming from Erebus. A satellite in high Earth orbit detected an emergency transmission on a now-defunct NASA frequency. The coordinates placed the signal 250,000 miles away from Earth, far beyond the Moon. A retrieval probe was secretly dispatched, expecting to find debris. What they found was far more terrifying. Floating in the void was Erebus, fully intact, but showing signs of extreme aging. The exterior looked as though it had been drifting for centuries. When NASA remotely accessed the onboard logs, they made a chilling discovery. The crew had been alive, trapped in a time loop, for what felt like decades to them. The final log entry, recorded by Commander Beckett, was garbled and incomplete, but one line was clear: "Time is broken. We are not alone. Something is watching." The shuttle was never retrieved. NASA feared whatever anomaly caused this horror could spread. Instead, Erebus was left to drift, a ghost ship in space, carrying its impossible secret. To this day, there are those within the agency who whisper that Erebus still transmits weak signals, each time from a different point in history. But no one dares respond. Because if NASA was wrong, if whatever happened aboard Erebus is still happening, then something else may have come back with it, and that is why Project Hades was buried. Officially, it never existed. But the deadliest space experiment NASA will never admit may still be out there, waiting to be discovered.